Up until the State of the Union, Fox News and their little piglets all gleefully giggled, believing their own BS, that Biden was incapable, that he was demented.
Extremely weak, the frail, the confused, kind of angry Joe Biden.
And then, after Biden kicked ass, they decided to change their butt wax narrative to Biden is on drugs, and everybody got the talking points.
Does like the idea of drug testing. I like the idea. They do it to athletes. They do it to horses in horse racing.
Submit to a drug test before and after this debate, specifically looking for performance-enhancing drugs.
Our only request should be to drug test him, right after it.
Being artificially stimulated for big nights like these, then they should agree to a drug test.
Biden was jazzed up or whatever for jacked up for the State of the Union.
They're going to have him juiced up and jacked up on some sort of cocktail.
We anticipate that for this first debate, he will be on something. And the response of the press has been to cover it up.
Whether they're going to jack him up on Mountain Dew or whatever it is.
CNN is a hostile environment. And
I guess how much Adderall are they going to give him? How many vitamins is he going to be on?
A little before debate time, he gets a shot in the ass, and they want to strengthen him up.
My bill, the no juicing Joe, which would require him to divulge, to report to the American people anytime that he takes a mind-altering stimulant, like we know he's going to have to do before this debate.
That they're probably experimenting with getting doses right, giving him medicine ahead of the debate. Is
more awake. There's the amphetamine-type drugs like Adderall and things of that nature, and then there's things like Provigil. They're also just increase your alertness and stuff. So I think they're probably trying to find just the right mix.
Of course, that was insane. I mean, if you were going to make a case that someone debated with the assistance of a foreign substance, well, I can think of a more likely mope. Now Fox is all a titter at the prospect of Donnie Diaper debating without his hillbilly malicious insane invectives echoing throughout the hall, meaning Trump will have to actually answer questions instead of name-calling and interrupting, which won't go well for tiny fingers. It'll be like asking Eric to recite the alphabet. Now Fox is saying it's not a real debate if Trump can't be an asshole, and I'm barely paraphrasing.
But beyond the awkwardness of that, Mark Thiessen, there's a challenge there because, in my mind, I think Trump can put Biden on defense by asking him a question, but if you ask him a question and they mute your mic, you're losing time to maybe give a fulsome answer. You can't really engage.
And they got to turn the microphone on, and they got to turn the microphone off, and all the rest of that. So it's very awkward. But look, the reality is it helps Trump. Because if you think back to the first debate last time around, what hurt him wasn't his substance; it was that he kept interrupting. Now first of all, I don't think his mindset is in that place that he was before the first debate. Right now, I think he's going in with the mindset of, look, there are swing voters that are out there who like my policies, maybe aren't so sure about me. Think Joe Biden is a disaster.
Whoa. Got to stop right here. How is Biden's economy a disaster? The economy is roaring. Inflation? Corporations are being called out for keeping prices inflated at pandemic levels. And inflation is going down. The border? Seriously? Biden has not only deported more people than Trump, the guy who never built the wall that Mexico was going to pay for, but Biden orchestrated the border bill Republicans wanted with James Lankford, and Trump and Mike Johnson killed it because Trump wanted to run on Biden not solving the problem. And Ukraine? Who's the chump turning his back on our allies?
No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want.
And I'm just curious, as a moderator going into this, what is your chief goal to give the American people?
Well, I think you want to stay out of it. I think you want to put the questions out there and you want to give them an opportunity. But I'm not going to be surprised if after this debate tonight, we're talking about what a fail this thing was. Because the point is for them to debate. And honestly, when last time around, former President Trump kept jumping in, it hurt him. Yep. And it gave him that. So that's why people said, you lost that debate. Try again on the next one. But I think this is going to be very weird. And I also think with no audience feel in the room, there's no bodies out there. And they chose this enormous room to do it in, which I don't understand. When they did Nixon Kennedy, it was in a TV studio because it was only the two of them in there. There was no audience.
Of course they want a crowd because Trump is a jingoistic dog whistle. And without Kid Rock Nation, people will have to listen to his lies without the background white noise and say to themselves, This guy's crazy.
You don't want to do live fact checking if there's a
was actually wrong.
Yeah, she was wrong, and so it'll be interesting.
But here's Steve. Here's the scenario, though. Let me ask you this: if they say Donald Trump comes out tonight and says, "I'm going to exonerate all the January 6ers,"
right?
And Trump comes out and says, "I'm not going to do that." Do you want Jake Tapper to say, "Well, here's the quote"? And if Jake Tapper said, "Here's the quote," the president would answer back again. So then, of course, it becomes more of an interview.
Here's what I don't want any live fact checking, period.
Ducey, dude, you think Trump has the ability to fact check on the fly? And why would he want to? He lies about everything, from the economy, where he still pushes his BS narrative that his economy was the best ever. Wasn't even close. He never had a 3% GDP in 16 quarters, while Biden has had 3 over 4%. He never built a wall. In fact, his fat bro Steve Bannon started a nonprofit to build one and then ripped it off for over $1 million and was convicted for fraud and theft before Tiny Fingers pardoned him. Asking Trump to fact check is like asking Antonio Cromartie for a condom. And now Fox's little Trump whores are sharpening their pencils, already crying the debate won't be fair.
Is not Trump versus Biden. It's Trump versus Biden and fake Dana Bash and fake Jake Tapper and dozens of CNN producers and probably CNN management.
People pointing out that he's been so unfair to Trump, pointing out his statements. Do you think that weighs on him at all? Do you think
they are so fully in the Biden camp that it's almost comical that we even have debates like this in this country?
But Donald Trump has one hand tied behind his back because he can't respond in full. He can't talk about the judge's daughter. He can't talk about the unfairness.
I think it's going to be exceptionally telling if they try to pull a fast one, if they try to mute or silence Donald Trump, the American.
They get lauded among their peers by being nasty and unfair.
If we don't get that apology to Caroline Leavitt and to the Trump campaign and to MAGA today, President Trump should cancel this.
The most important person tonight is going to be the engineer who decides when microphones go on and off. I'd like to know who he or she is, how they voted.
He's hiding him away at Camp David for the week, which is deeply concerning.
Can Trump even get a fair debate if you're simply trying to state a fact and they go to commercial?
I have serious doubts about what CNN is going to do in that debate. CNN has been a huge critic of President Trump, has been completely unfair to the president.
Well, this is nothing new, of course. The cards have always been stacked against Donald Trump.
That might be the whiniest group of little bitches outside Mar-a-Lago anywhere. And here's why. They're afraid. They know who Trump is. They know what he might say, and they know the polls are shifting Biden's way. But at the heart of it all is this. They're snowflakes, selling lies to the country, and then selling lies to the country and their mewling little cabbage heads in red America. Right here, Mike Johnson admits that they're all full of shat.
Do you think some of the rhetoric, Speaker Johnson, I mean, just knowing you and how you conduct yourself, do you think some of the rhetoric is out of line when people from Trump's team are suggesting that Trump himself, that Biden is going to be on cocaine when he's on that debate stage Thursday night?
Look, there's a lot of things that are said in jest.
Fox News is melting down, but they don't care if they run the country into the ground doing it.
Extremely weak, the frail, the confused, kind of angry Joe Biden.
And that's your choice, guys, but don't tell us you're tough. Our guy has 50 years of service, lost a son who was protecting America, and will battle right to the end. Your guy?
Who's with me?
Hi, what's up?
This isn't their Republican Party anymore. Am I wrong? Yeah. Tick-tock.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.